Hello, my name is Mike White. I'm with Vision33. And today we're going to take a look at the Vision33 Employee Portal, which is a fantastic platform for reporting, especially because it doesn't require an SAP Business One license in order to run these reports. And then secondly, these reports are super easy to create inside of Business One. And within about 60 seconds, you can publish them right out to the employee portal. So let's take a look. What we're going to do is I've got a query here that's going to give me some sales data. So let's copy our query. And what we're going to do is we're going to jump into the query generator. We're going to execute the query generator without ever selecting any tables or fields or anything. So it will take us into this blank palette here. And this is where we're going to paste in our query. Now, again, I could have taken the time here and put the query in by selecting the tables and everything else. But in order to save time, I've just created the query ahead of time. We'll now execute it. We can see what it looks like. And it's really a pretty simple query. It's just returning all of my sales data, and it's breaking this data down by year, month, quarter, salesperson, item group, item code, description. And then it's summarizing the quantity, the sales dollars, and the profit dollars based on this particular time frame. So this is a perfect report to use in a pivot table. It gives me a lot of different options. So that's the first step, is we create that query. Now we're going to save our query, and I need to put it in one of these categories here that starts with a B1 Web API. It's a long story, but it's got to be in one of these categories. So I'm going to open up the one that I use mostly is a query portal. So I'm going to select that, and I'm just going to override a report. I've already got this report written out here, and so I'm just going to save it. But I do want to take you through the steps. So this is my sales totals pivot. So we simply save that report. So now we've got a query we've created, and we've saved it into a category that the employee portal can recognize. Now the question is, how do we get this report onto the employee portal? Well, it's really simple. When you're running the employee portal, there's a new menu option added into your Business One system. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go into Manage Reports. This is the first thing we have to do, step 1 of 2. So we'll select the employee portal, open this up. And what you'll see here is you'll see this report, all sales pivot. I've already added it. And here's that query we just saved into Business One. Here's the where the query category is, a B1 Web API query portal. And here's the name of our query. Right. So all we did is we went in here, that's running the query, but we went out here, we selected the query we wanted. Here we go. And we've added this new entry into Manage Reports. And then I selected, who is this available to? Is this available to everyone or just accounting? And you can see as we scroll through this list here, there's a number of different options and roles you can have. And this can be user definable as well. So that's the first step, is we simply manage that report. We create this new report, and then we select OK. Oh, and we're making this report a pivot table, right? So it could simply be a grid report where it's just rows and columns, and that would work too. But we could make it a pivot table. A pivot table will give us a little more flexibility. We could also make it a chart. So it's graphics, lines, gauges, pie charts, that kind of thing. Or we could make it just a static piece of information. So we're going to go with a pivot table. There we go. So we've done our first step after creating the query. We simply added this as a brand new report, and we call it All Sales Pivot. Now, step 2 is we then go in and manage the menu of the employee portal. And this one's a real easy thing to do too. So let's go into the employee portal. Here we go. Now this shows you the menu structure of the employee portal, and you'll see that here in a minute. And so to add this new report into the menu system of the employee portal, we simply click Add. There's the plus symbol there. We give it a name. We tell it it's a pivot table report. We come out here, we select the report, all sales pivot, there it is, choose. And again, it defaults to being active. We select OK, and it's done. It then adds that report now into our menu. And when it adds that report to the menu, it throws it in at the bottom here. And what I've done is I've already moved it up to where I want it. So if I go to my sales report, here I can see there's my all sales pivot table. But what I'm talking about are using these buttons over here. You can see I can move this down. I've now moved this down below my campaigns. If I want this report to be below order status report, again, I can click and move it down, or I can move it up. Now, if I want to change sections, if I want to go from this being a sales user function to a sales report, or to a demo report, or whatever section you've created in the employee portal, that's where I use these keys, and they allow me to move that report from section to section. But we'll go ahead and select update. And now what we've done is we've created the query. We went in and we added a new report in a format the employee portal can see. And then we went into the employee portal menu and we added it into the menu. So now let's go look at our work. Let's go out into the employee portal. And here we'll bring up the menu. And you can see here's that navigation, demo report, sales user, sales reports. Let's open up sales reports. And there is our new report, all sales pivot table. So let's open it up. Now, the first time you open up this pivot table, it's going to be empty, right? And it's going to let you really get creative in what you want to see. So the first thing I'm going to do is select my data items. What do I want to see? I want to see my quantity. So I'm going to select that there. Now I can see a total sales quantity life to date. Now, besides quantity, I also want to see my sales. So we'll bring that in, and then my gross profit. So now I've got the financial figures I want to see. What was the quantity sold? What was my sales dollars? A little over 5 million. And one of that was gross profit. Now, how do I want to break this down? Well, I might start out by saying, well, let's just take a look and show me my sales by sales rep. And so now I can see by rep what their sales are. Now, what if I want to compare these rep sales from this year to last year? Well, this is where I can now start getting creative, and I can take my year column here and I can drop that there. Now I can see how my sales reps have performed every single year, but this is too many years. I don't want to go all the way back to 2006. I just want to compare 2 years. So I can open up that field and simply choose those years that I want to see. Now I've got a comparison of 2021 sales for my sales reps compared to my 2022. So just like that. Now, what I can do here is I can save this report. If I like this version, then I can save this view. And I'm going to call this sales by rep 2-year comparison. And I could decide if I want it available to all users that have access to this report, or just keep it personal. That's up to you. So now I've got a new version of my pivot table. And your pivot table can have unlimited versions. So we'll create a second one here. Let's go ahead and let's say that, we're no longer interested in sales by rep. What we'd like to do now is maybe look at this by sales by item group. And so now I can see my item groups, and I'm seeing a year-by-year comparison. I think you've seen how the comparison works. So what we'll do is let's just look at our current year here, year to date. So those are my year-to-date sales by item group. Now, if we want to go a little bit deeper, let's go ahead and let's add in item code, and we'll put that right there. So now I can see the item code within that group. And this is great, but I still don't know what, AL 1002-2 is. So I kind of like to have the item description in here as well. So we'll bring that in, and that gives me a little more detail. So now I'm looking at my year-to-date sales by item group by item. I'm seeing 20 of this by page, but you can really open this up and see as much data as you want, up to 100 lines per view there. All right, so we're off to a pretty good start. Now, I want to expand this a little bit because right now we're looking at year to date, but I'd really like to see how I did in January, February, March, and April of this year. So what we'll do is we'll grab the month and we're going to drop that over here as well. And so now I can see for 2022 how I've done in January, February, March, April, and a little bit of May. We're in May right now, in case you're watching this a year from now. We're in May 2022. But that gives me my my sales quantity, sales and profit for those 5 months for that year. Now let's go ahead and we'll save another view here. So let's save this view, and we'll call this let's see, sales by, and we'll call this by item group, sales by item group, and item for current year. There we go. And we can make that available to everyone as well. So now you can see I'm building up a list of views of this pivot table. So this one pivot table could literally create 1,000 different flavors of the sales data. So if I want to go back and look at my sales by rep 2-year comparison, there it is. And then if I want to jump back to my sales by item group by item with item description with every month for the year, there it is. Now we'll do one last thing here. Let's say I want to compare the same month, but in 2 different years. So let's compare April. Here we go. So let's only look at April. And then we'll come back here into the year, and we want to see April of 2021 compared to April of 2022. And there it is. Now I can see April 2021 and April 2022. Again, I can save this view and name it something else. I also have the ability to export this out to Excel, to a CSV format, and some other advanced options. I can do some filtering. I can make this report default for all users. I could do some filtering options. I can open up a field list, choose more fields, and then also I can delete all of these layouts here and start from scratch again. And so there you go. Now, if the data is in Business One, it can be pushed out to the employee portal like you've just seen, and the sky is the limit. Thanks for watching.